Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beacon of Light at the Derringdo Lighthouse. Mind, power, eternity. Your transformation is always in progress, whether you are doing it constructively or destructively. But I hope you stay on the constructive side of things. If you're not thinking for yourself in this 21st century, you will be bamboozled, confused, and deceived by mankind. So I strongly advise that you follow nature, because nature is the way, the truth, and the life. The Most High has a program, and that's nature. There are natural laws that can never be altered, changed in any shape or form, because there are consequences that you will endure if you try to change it. Calvin Klein recently posted a video on Mother's Day, a day of all days, showing a transgender male pregnant. What does that tell you? Confusion, deception. Males cannot give birth. I have 3 kids of my own. I don't need anyone telling me how children come into this world. But that's the game that they're playing. Wake up. This LGBTQ movement is deception and confusion. Don't believe the hype. These alternative sexual preferences are going to ruin our naturalness and deviate our attention from nature into artificial realities. We should not condone these acts of misconception. They are going to disrupt our natural way of living and bringing forth our own kind into the world. I just purchased this book recently. I'm reading this book. I encourage everyone to get this book. In this book, there are 23 major shifts that are going to come to fruition in this 21st century. And if you don't know what they are, I encourage you to get this book. And while you're at it, pick up my book, 54 Shades of Now. Best ransom for the mind is wisdom. Get this book. It's in paperback form, and soon, very soon, I will have it in ebook format. And I'm going to read a passage from this book and a passage from this book very soon. But first, welcome to my channel, Beacon of Light at the Derringdo Lighthouse. Change your mindset, change your behaviors, heal yourself, change your situations. Calvin Klein is not the only people we need to be worried about. It's not the only corporation we need to be worried about. There's so many of them right now. The game is being flipped and changed, and it will transform how we do everything. Joblessness are coming, whereby automation, robotics, and AI and Internet of Things will take over everything. Matter of fact, the global reset really started in 2019. It was the first try. 2020 was just when things peaked, but the process took place in 2019. That's why it's called COVID-19, not COVID-20. You see? So wake up. If you don't go into nature and get out of the cities, you will be in some levels of sunken spheres that you can't get out of. What do I mean? You will be trapped and you can't get out, because The system now is becoming more industrialized to an extent that everything is going to be artificial. Artificial foods, artificial human beings, artificial intelligence, artificial everything. The powers that be, they want to take control over everything. The world, resources, human resources. They are sick and tired of human beings. They don't even care about us. Just like Michael Jackson said, they don't care about us, guys. They never did, they never will. I personally don't know who they are, but I just call them shadow experts of manipulation and destruction, because that's the best name I could give them. So Calvin Klein just posted a picture of a transgender male pregnant. Now, whether this person is pregnant or not is not the case. Let's say it's not true. Let's say this man just has a pot belly. Let's just say that. But the ideology that goes behind the thought alone screams mayhem, screams mayhem, screams mayhem. Without further ado, I'm just going to read a passage from the Fourth Industrial Revolution. There are 23 major shifts coming. They are coming. And they're even estimating or forecasting that by 2025, the rate of joblessness in the Western world will become eminent. Outstanding, because automation, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and robotics are already here, and they will take over everything. Just like in the Terminator, it will be man versus machines. Man versus machines. Man versus machines. So are you ready to get out of the West and go back home to Africa? Now, I'm not saying Africa is perfect. I'm not saying that Africa does not have problems, because we do. I'm currently in the United States, but I'm planning my repatriation, my exit plan. It is time for us to go back home and rebuild. Not like the West. We must rebuild in such a way that we keep our Africanness and we stay on the path of nature. Because nature is the way, the truth, and the life. Nature is the way. Because nature does not lie. Nature does not deceive. Nature does not confuse. If you plant an orange seed, you get an orange seed. If you plant apple seeds, you get apple seeds. Women naturally give birth. Women menstruate. They have their cycles, right? Men don't. It's confusion when you make people feel or think that men can also do what women do. It's not possible. And even if you were to create an artificial male to do so, you are a deceptive person. You are promoting confusion. You are the devil. Yes. Call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. It's time to wake up. No time for games. But let me read this passage really quick so you can see what time we are on. It's getting real, y'all. It's getting real. And if you're not awake and you still sleep, that's on you. I'm reading from this book. Designer babies or designer beings. Okay, that's what I'm about to read. And I'll be very quick, so keep up with me. Shift 2022. Shift 22. Designer beings. Some call it designer beings or designer babies. Okay, so I'm not going to read everything, but I just want to read some of the key points. Right, listen to this. The tipping point. The first human whose genome was directly and deliberately edited was born. Since the turn of the century, the cost of sequencing an entire human genome has fallen by almost 6 orders of magnitude. The Human Genome Project spent $2.7 billion to produce the first entire genome in 2003. By 2009, the cost per genome was down to $100,000. So it went from $2.7 billion to $100,000, right? While today it is possible. Now listen to this. So now from 2.7 billion to 100,000, and then it's going to drop down to 1,000. So while today it is possible for researchers to pay a lab specializing in such matters only $1,000 to sequence a human editing with the a human genome. A similar trend has occurred more recently in genome editing with the development of the CRISPR-Cas9 method. Okay, so I'm gonna do another video on CRISPR-Cas9. It's a DNA genome editing mechanism that are used by high-tech scientists. Like these people, they are creating things that the Most High would consider a taboo. They're playing God. They're showing you that we are equal to the Most High, but they got something else coming for them. So the real revolution is hence not the sudden ability for dedicated scientists to edit the genes of plants and animals, but rather the increased ease that new sequencing and editing technologies provide, vastly increasing the number of researchers who are able to conduct experiments, okay? Then they have the positive and negative impacts that it can have. So I'm just reading one positive and one negative. So the first positive it has is that there'll be more effective medical therapies via personalized medicine. And one of the negative impact, which I think is silly, but listen to this negative impact. Social backlash of rejection of gene editing technologies. What? Social backlash? That's supposed to be the positive impact. We should have a backlash on this. We should have a backlash on this. We should not accept this. I've been saying, do we even know what we're eating? It could be lab food. All these cancer people developing cancer, some of them are not regular smokers. Some of them have never smoked in their life. Every people are developing cancer and dying. I'm telling you guys, it's not funny. It's very serious, and we need to wake up. Calvin Klein is not the only problem. They can market anything they want. They are not the ones who experiment on human beings and transform them from male to female. They're not the ones. They're the scientists, the lab coat males and females in underground scientific laboratories that you don't see. It's time to think for yourself. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Mind, power, eternity. Mind, power, eternity. Your transformation is always in progress. If you don't transform your mind, you will not transform your body. You wouldn't have any desire to get out of the systems that are coming. And it's going to be a global system. So even if you go to Africa, they're going to bring that there. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why Obama was elected, because they wanted to use him to bring down Gaddafi, which he successfully did, and to promote the transgender LGBTQ movement, which he succeeded in doing. And while he was president, he wanted to bring the gay agenda to Africa. And the then, now rest his soul, president of Zimbabwe, Mugabe, said, until Obama divorced his wife, and come to Africa and marry a man, then they'll think about it. So you see, these things are happening, and they will continue to happen unless we push back and resist. Now, are we going to be successful in pushing back it completely? Maybe not, but don't allow it come into your home. Don't allow it come into your country if you are in Africa. Don't allow it come into your community if you're here or anywhere else around the world, because this stuff is going to change the nature of everything. Do you know what this means? Have you seen the movie I Am Mother? Go watch that movie, I Am Mother. Robots were actually turned into incubation machines. So they didn't need women anymore because they already had the genome. They were developing babies using machines. So they're trying to get rid of human beings completely. What does that tell you? That's a threat, a major threat. Watch the movie I Am Mother. If you want to know what's going on around the world, watch Hollywood movies. That's how you know either they are planning to do something or they've already done it. Let me read the last thing, and I'm not going to keep you here too long. I wrote this book, by the way. Okay? Get your copy. It's on Amazon. Now, I'm going to read something here that I always share this with people who want to buy this book. Listen, we are at war. In fact, we have always been at war since the dawn of humanity. For us, or for every knowledgeable person to survive the onslaught of the present and future outcomes, we all must be equipped first with wisdom that ultimately exposes us to true liberty or freedom. The path to truth is a difficult road to trek indeed. Sometimes we'll feel lonely in our quest. Be brave, be patient, exercise endurance, remain disciplined, because this path we must take if we truly desire liberty. The world is not what you and I think it is. On the surface, there are many players, actors, and actresses playing their roles to perfection. What does that tell you? You gotta think for yourself. And I'll end on this note. Dylan, I wrote this book in 2020. I've been saying this gender confusion or fluidity that is happening in our communities are staged, planned, controlled, manipulated by the powers that be. I'm going to read this last passage of this book. Think for yourself. Plan your exit. Build communities that are nature bound with like-minded people, so that you can keep your own humanity and live amongst people who want the same. Because human beings have become overtly deceptive and at times egocentric and selfish, we have adopted habits that make us evidently very opposed to nature, turning males into females and females into males, boys into little girls and girls into little boys, promoting confusion for prideful intent. A new terminology phrase for this conspicuous pride itself is dubbed reversing nature to adopt man-made concepts of gender fluidity, where young males or females or young men or women can freely exercise sexual desires that are completely unnatural in all due respect. For example, boys can dress up as little girls, girls can dress up as little boys, and they can willfully engage in alternative sexual relations with their peers as they see fit without any parental restrictions, reverse consequences, or reprimanded conscientiousness whatsoever. That's if a young male desires to have sexual intercourse with either males or females on any given day. As he so wishes, he can freely exercise his desires without feeling guilty, ashamed, or receiving any backlash from any authority figure at home or in society. Deceptive perceptions, therefore, have clearly become the favored norms and or core values of societal traditions, whereby gender confusion has become one of the 21st century forged formalities, a psychological game of manipulative and sexual perversion experimentation, a suspicious kind of unnatural disorder that is heavily backed by creme de la cremes in most tolerated and liberal societies. 54 Shades of Now. Best Lesson for the Mind is Wisdom on Amazon. All right, there you have it. That's my take. That's my thoughts on this whole concept of transgender males having babies. Silly, stupid, confusion, deception in all due respects. Think for yourself. Have your own thoughts, your own mind. Follow nature. Nature is the way, the truth, and the life. Until next time, beacon of light here at the Derringdo Lighthouse. Mind, power, eternity. Always looking into eternity with your mind right. Keep your mind right. There's a lot of mental health problems going on in the world. If you're not exercising your mind as much as you like to exercise your muscles, it's not enough. Mind, body, and soul. Peace, one love, power, justice, success, patience, balance, order, and resilience is what I hope you live by.